What's going on, y'all? It's your guy 5100 CJ, aka Chase Johnson, and this is the Heart of Culture. So, this is the very first guest on the Heart of Culture, and it's only right to start it with a brother that represents the values and ethics that I stand for as the creator of this channel. So I'm gonna introduce my brother Nehemiah Hardaway. What's going on, good brother?
What's up, fam? Salute to the king, my peace to the quays. Hey, the Heart of Culture, man. Thanks for having me here, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share a part of my story. It's been a interesting journey. It's been a rigorous journey. So I'm excited to be back home in Memphis and to be interviewed by the brother Chase on the Heart of Culture show.
So the reason I wanted to interview you, because I met the man before I knew about any story. We linked up with a guy that I did some work for, and y'all kind of collaborated on some things. And from day one, I was like, this brother's energy is just different. He introduces himself. You don't have to wait to meet him. He's going to make sure you meet him. He's going to shake his hand, your hand, give you hugs. Like, he's just that type of brother. This camera won't tell you that, but I'm telling you, this brother is... He's not what you're about to hear him talk about. He's not just talking. Like, the first day I met him, I realized what kind of man he was, and we both connected over bonding about fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? We just had a conversation. So I was introduced to you, and one of the things that stuck out to me is you had a shirt on that said "Fathers First." Mm-hmm. Anytime I see a man with something like that on, I kind of know what he about. You know what I'm saying? He's standing up for business. So let's go ahead and get into your story and how you became the man that wears a Father's First shirt and that lives the Father's First mentality and lifestyle. So where are you originally from, brother?
So I was born in Fort Knox, Kentucky when my dad was in the military. My dad is from Fayette County. Okay. He grew up in the country on the farming land, and my mom is from Holly Springs, Mississippi, so she grew up also on farming land. So you got these two people from Moscow, Tennessee, Holly Springs, Mississippi, two different states that came together, got married, and had me.
Okay. So it's safe to say Holly Springs, old school, hard-nosed, and hard-working people.
Oh, yeah. My mom was raised in a family where her parents got married when they were 12. So you would consider an adult at 12. So it's a different type of energy.
Right. You know, some people might disagree with that. In some ways, I do disagree with people being younger, being so seriously involved. But it's a positive to that, too, because you grow up. You understand the sense of responsibility at a younger age. So having that mentality, they probably pass that down into you, huh?
No, yeah, and that's without a doubt. Like on the military base, my dad, for example, when he met my mom, he was around 20, but at 21, he married her, and she had two daughters, right?
So she came into it with two children.
She came into their marriage with two children.
Okay.
That my dad raised as his own, and these were two children that were young, so they weren't even over 10, when my dad met my mom, right? So he took responsibility for those two young girls, and then had 5 other children with her, right? And 4 of us, of the 5, were born in Fort Knox, Kentucky. One, my mom was pregnant with, my youngest brother. He was born in Memphis. He was the only child born in Memphis out of the 5 that my dad had with my mom.
Were you the first child?
No. My sister, I have a sister, she was my dad's first child, right?
So being in a household of, before, because you said 4 were born in Fort Knox.
Yep.
Okay, so that's still a lot of people in the same household.
Oh,
so
yeah, no doubt.
You got to see a real family dynamic on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, yeah. Close.
So what were some of the things that you learned about family and, your duty as a man from your dad coming up in that household?
We lived in a household where my mom didn't work a job, right? Her job was tending to the garden, cooking the meals, right? Organizing the house, and assisting with the children. My dad's job, he was in the military, so he had his job every day. He had to sustain the house, buy the food, fix things that went wrong in the house, stuff like that. So they didn't have an issue in that area. Like, they understood their roles, right? But as a child, having so many siblings, it allows you to catch on to connecting as a family spiritually in a greater way, right? Having 3 older sisters, seeing them go to school, and you're not starting school yet, but you're seeing them come home and read books and do homework, and then now you can essentially get taught by them. So it made me get sped up in my understanding, in my education, in my intellectual side from having 3 older sisters. Then I had 2 younger brothers and 1 older brother. So I was able to then balance out being older than 2 of my siblings and being 1 year younger than 1 of my brothers. So it was a very, very fruitful family dynamic. And that's why we really had a large amount of kids in previous generations.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
It was more connected
kids.
for sure. We were more spiritually connected from a family unit. I agree. I agree 1,000%. We can maybe talk about that in another conversation because we know that wasn't just a natural occurrence. Some things were done from the government side of the field.
And
but
spiritually.
Yeah, for sure. You got the structure of hard work from your dad and understanding your role as a father. And even as a boy, the father role is so similar to a boy's role when he grows older to take care of his sisters and things of that nature. So what are some of the important things that you might have learned from mom to kind of balance out that masculine and strong nature that your father had?
I always saw my mom take pride in letting us know that she believed in my dad's leadership. She would make it a point, She would make him his favorite meals or his favorite cake, and we would be like, Mom, what's for dinner? Mm-hmm. And then we'll be like, Mom, I don't like that.
Daddy.
I don't cook for y'all. I cook for my husband.
Right.
And what he eats, y'all eat. So that gave us an understanding about the way a woman honors her husband and makes the children honor the husband, right? Mm-hmm. And then vice versa.
Women have so much power in the way you view your father.
Oh, yeah.
I want them to understand that.
Oh,
they really do.
Now, my mom made sure that we honored and respected our father, right? Because she understands how important the role of the father and the man is. Because she was taught right. Because she has a good relationship with her father. She grew up with her father her whole life. Mm-hmm. And she got 14 other siblings. So she got a chance to see growing up with 15 kids, because that's how many children her mother had. So her understanding of the masculine energy, she's able to see from having all these brothers and her daddy.
Yeah, so she knows what it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because you and your mom and dad had, 7?
Yeah.
And your grandmother and them come from a lineage of 50. So you were just basically brought up in the dynamic of family.
I was brought up in the dynamic
that's
of family.
what you knew.
Yeah.
So you said one child was born in Memphis. So how old are you when y'all actually moved from Fort Knox to Memphis?
I was 4 years old.
Okay.
Yep. And the last child, our youngest brother, peace be upon him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. My dad's namesake. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Will. Mm-hmm. He was born here in Memphis. He was the only child that was born here. Yep.
So what was life like when y'all moved here to Memphis? What did y'all move? Did you have more family here?
Man, it was like a total cultural change because we lived on like a military base where it was just military families. It was more structured, right? To then move into Memphis, we moved to North Memphis. We moved to Smoking City. So I went from seeing organized, structured life to unorganized, crackheads, folks selling dope, right? Folks running down the street shooting guns. But that was my grandmother's neighborhood. We moved in with my grandmother, my dad's mother. Okay. So, and next door was my dad's cousin, my dad's niece, because this was his only sister's daughter. Mm-hmm. But my dad's youngest daughter was 20 years older than him. So, and her husband was military. So we were close. And then my dad's brother, he lived in the same house too, right? He had just moved from Detroit, Michigan. So it was a family environment. So even though it was wild outside of our home, I still was closely knitted, my siblings and I, around family.
That made the biggest difference.
Yeah.
So-
They had to make a calculated move.
So you talked about having kind of a free spirit to where you were kind of a nomad, like you moved around. So as you got older, I think you said you were 12 when you really started sowing your oats and kind of figuring out who you wanted to be. What was going on around that time of 12?
Yeah, at 12 years old is when my mom and dad got separated.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that was a critical time for us. Because at that time, we was living around GDs. It was Gangster Disciples. We had moved to East Memphis, which was a better neighborhood than North Memphis at the time.
Right, yeah.
You know
well,
what
it's
I
still
mean?
like that, yeah.
So that was 1994, something like that, right?
Okay.
And I remember, like, my dad and mom arguing as if my dad was entertaining another woman, right? So it made me think, like, what woman would entertain my dad knowing that he got a wife and he got 5 kids under 16 years old, right? Because at some point, if you're dealing with a man, you're going to eventually find out that he's married and how many kids he got and the ages, right? So that is when I began to learn about the spirit of Jezebel women. Because my mom would accuse my dad of engaging with other women. So I'm hearing this, I'm like, dang, so Pop, what you doing? You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then I'm wondering, like, why
Right.
are you, right?
Right.
If you married to my mom, like, I know y'all beefing, but y'all can work it out, you know? And if you don't want to work it out, it's a better way to handle it, you know, than that, right? But when we don't understand that men, good men, like my dad, remember I told you, 21, married my mom. She already had 2 kids. He had 5 kids with her.
Took on a
He
responsibility.
took on
He didn't have to.
at a young age.
Right.
You got women that prey on good men, that was raised by good men. It's a spirit in them. It's not that they prey on a good man just because they want something for themselves. That's a part of it. But that spirit in them wants to destroy kingdom builders. The men that know how to treat women and raise children, there's a spirit that wants to destroy that.
You know that there's a saying that men talk to a man that's married to a good wife, he say, I want a woman like yours. And they say the woman says when she sees her friend with a good man, she be like, no, I want yours. I want your man. It's a different way of looking at it, but yeah.
Oh yeah, and that kind of trickles into that Jezebel spirit energy. Whereas a woman that pursues an already taken man with a family, you use seduction. So you're trying to seduce him sexually. And now the spirit of seduction has come the identity card that's massively promoted as the norm for how women approach and present themselves.
Right.
Seductive energy.
Right. Well, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. We got to get into that.
So when it came to that spirit disrupting your family, would you say that's a reason did that play a role in you becoming nomadic and moving around more, do you think?
No doubt. I had to. You know, I had a heightened sense of awareness at a young age. And my parents knew that. And so as they was navigating how they was moving us and moving themselves, right?
Right.
I had to navigate individually for what I needed.
So you end up in college. Where'd you go to college?
Alabama State in Montgomery, Alabama. So yeah, the Hornets. Shout out to Alabama State, the Hornets, Montgomery, home of the Montgomery bus boycott. You know what I'm saying?
Type shit. Yeah. So how was college for you? Because you were still nomadic, but now you're more on your own.
Yeah. College for me, man, was strictly a place of rest. For the first time since my mother and father got a divorce, that was the first time that I really got that space where I could think. I could sit in a dorm room and I could just reflect on my life. Because it was so much stuff happening that I was in the middle of living that and processing, but it was something else happening every day, right? I was the type of kid I would lay in the bed at night and just lay and just reflect on what happened that day. But so much was happening, and I didn't really have soundboards. I didn't have enough people that I could talk to help me process. So when I went to college with the intent to get away from Tennessee just so I can go to a different land and just so I can have time to think. So college was a great time for me to come to the conclusion of what my childhood was like.
Okay, it just cleared your mind and got you a real viewpoint of what you've been through.
Yeah.
So how long were you in college?
1 year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when you left college, where'd you go back to?
I went back to Memphis. Okay. I moved in with my godparents. Okay. And at that time, I was able to have my godparents, and they formulated out of my nomad, me being a nomad. That's how I met my godparents, because I met their son, right? From playing basketball. Basketball was something that I did to keep me away from the gangs, and to give me some constructive to do.
So going through nomadic times as a young kid, nomadic times in college, nomadic times after college, and your nomadic thought process even brought you in more of an extended family. So you've always just been attracted to the idea of family. So when you left, I remember you saying you was in Nashville when a lot of stuff was going on. So how did you end up in Nashville?
Oh, I was at my godparents' house, man. I got a newspaper, and I was looking in a newspaper for a job.
Back when the newspaper meant something for you.
Oh, yeah. We used to actually like read the newspaper back then, you know what I'm saying? And that was like 2002. We were still reading newspapers.
My mama made me do it too. My grandmama did too.
Yeah, we read newspapers. So I ended up getting a job out the newspaper, and it was a sales job. It was like impulse marketing. Deals with people, you make cash every day, you get products on consignment, you make your own money. I'm like, bet, this is the independence I need, boom. So then at this point, I end up transitioning to Nashville with this company, right? It's called DS Max. So I end up transitioning to Nashville with DS Max, and I worked with them, for like another year, and they moved me to Atlanta, then they moved me to Birmingham, Alabama, and they moved me from Nashville to Atlanta and Birmingham. And then I came back to Memphis. But I wanted to go back to Nashville because working with that job, Nashville was a good spot for me. My sister, he go to Network of the Tribe. My sister is a teacher, right? So she moved to Nashville, got a teaching job there, middle school. I called her, I was like, hey, I want to move back to Nashville, but I need to get on my feet. She was like, sure, come live with me. You can grade papers at my school for my students and walk my students to the cafeteria until you find you a job, and then you can get your own spot. So boom, back to Nashville I went. Okay. So then I was looking for a job in Nashville, right? And I ended up getting a job at Dillard's. And I was managing like men's shoes. So, and I love working with people. So I'm at Dillard's, get the crazy hookup on the gear, and I'm managing men's shoes. And I remember, like, when I first started working at Dillard's, nobody said to me, man, welcome to Dillard's. I know you're new here, but hey, here's kind of the ins and outs of the store, nobody. So I said to myself, well, next time, whoever, the new employee that comes here, I'm gonna make sure when I come in the lunchroom that I greet them, right?
Let me say something. I just gotta say something, right?
Yeah.
This is who this man is. I didn't know him then, but I know him now. He ain't lying. Like, he is the person that's he's going to make you feel comfortable. He's going to introduce you. He's going to treat you like family from the moment you meet him. I just want to confirm that, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I end up seeing a woman when I went into the break room. I said, okay, so she's new. So I was like, I said what I was gonna do, so I did it. So I walked over to this woman and introduced myself. I said, hey, how you doing? Welcome to Dillard's. She said, my name is Rachel. I said, my name is Nehemiah. Nice to meet you. Welcome to Dillard's. What section you in? She said, I'm in women's clothing. I said, okay. I'm over downstairs in men's shoes. You know, come by and see me. I got some great deals on some shoes. I can, you know, give you the hookup. And if I need some products over there, I'll check you out as well. She was like, thank you for introducing yourself because nobody else did. I said, I know. I said the same thing like when I started here. So, but welcome to Dillard's. Hope you enjoy yourself. And that was my son's mother. I didn't know that was going to be my future wife. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know this.
Yeah, we never know.
We never know, right? And so, you know, we started like this, like, co-working after work space where we hung out at spoken word poetry lounges. But at that time, like, I wasn't seeing her as somebody that I would date. But most of the men that I hung out with were always older than me. So when I was 23, I was hanging with 40-year-olds. So one of my friends at the time, Derek, peace be upon him, I never forget, Derek told me, he said, this young lady is gonna be a good wife one day. She's got a lot of the tools, you can see it in her. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds just like them old heads.
Yeah, that's what he told me, right? And, you know, I'm 24, I'm 23, she's 19 going on 20, right? And she's freshman at Tennessee State University at the time, right? And, you know, we worked at Dillard's and, you know, we did the spoken word poetry thing or whatnot. And then one night in the car, you know, after the poetry set, we all sat in the car, my boy Derek, her and her homegirl that worked at Dillard's with me. And we stayed up, man, like 4 in the morning, just chopping it up. Mm-hmm. And it was like out of that conversation that night we started dating.
Yeah, you saw what her mind was like.
Yeah.
I know how it be. I know how it be.
But things kind of moved pretty fast though. Like, so I had only been knowing her for like a month, right? And we had only started dating for like maybe 2 weeks. And I get a call, and it's her and her mom on three-way. So I'm like, what is this about?
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm like, man, what is this about? Now, mind you, I'm 23, so I'm young, you know? And this phone call was an attempt to get a problem solved for my son's mother, my future wife.
So let me just make sure I'm hearing you correct.
Yeah.
A woman you have known for a month.
30 days.
Dating 2 weeks.
Yep.
14 days.
Yeah.
Her mother is calling you.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying, what?
Her mother called on three-way with her daughter and said, I'm a Christian. That's the first thing. I can't make this up.
Yeah.
She said, I'm a Christian. And I normally don't advocate for shacking.
2 weeks in.
But I'm in Michigan right now. And I can't get to my daughter.
You're not gonna tell me what I think you do.
Will you move in with my daughter to help her pay her bills so she don't lose her apartment and her car while she's in school, trying to get her education? So I was like, man, like I was shocked to even be given this responsibility.
Or even somebody even asked this of you.
Yeah, I was shocked at that. You know, I was really
wild.
shocked at that.
That's wild.
But, you know, going back to my dad being the type of man that he is, he took on responsibility for my mom at 21.
Uh-oh.
So he is still in us to take care of women. Right? That was the example he said. So it still was in my nature to see a woman in distress and then have the mother of this daughter to ask me.
It activated you.
It activated that part of my spirit that my dad had instilled in me. Men can be vulnerable and gullible too. And men have to be protected by the women and the men of their family. The same way that women can be gullible and they have to be protected by men and women, both of them gotta be protected. And I should have had somebody in my family to say, hey, hold on.
We forget about the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Like, hold up. So nobody in my family said, hey, you just met this young lady. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I was accustomed to moving and navigate my life at a young age without having any input from my parents or any other elders in my family.
Such a big family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that you can get lost in that.
Because the other children may have had more needs than me.
Right.
And I was seen as being the one that could navigate.
You can handle it.
I can handle it.
So every family has their kid where,
Yep.
you know, so-and-so, he'll be all right. He'll figure it out.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But even those kids at certain points, they gonna need help.
They need help.
Yeah, just don't throw them out there think they can handle whatever come their way, because that leaves room for mistakes and injuries to happen.
So this phone call, what happens next? After that phone call, like where are you at?
So I'm at the house at my apartment down the street, which wasn't that far, because it was all in Antioch, right? Tennessee, in that area. So I'm at my apartment, and I'm like, wow, you know? And my lease on my apartment was about to be up. So I was going to either renew my lease or I was going to move somewhere else. So I'm like, man, this could be a good situation, and I do want to have family. And then my elder, Derek, done planted the seed in my head to say that she'll be a good wife. So I'm thinking there's some kind of alignment. Right? So I started to put together like the pieces to the puzzle to say, maybe this is.
You start working it out in your head.
Yeah.
You activate
So
it.
then I accepted the responsibility. So it wasn't even, 2 weeks later, I was moving out of my apartment, moving into her apartment, and then getting bills at a table and being shown like what the deficit was. Like, it happened so fast.
That's wild.
Yeah.
This happened in a month.
Yeah, in a month time. You know, it's wild for us, right? But my dad's generation, my mom's generation, and the generation before them, man, they did stuff like this and it was normal. If they met somebody and they talked and they hit it off, man, they was getting married within a week.
But you know what? I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. It's just that in this time, you're not set up to meet the right person to do that. In this day and time,
you gotta go through a much longer process.
you have to. At least a year.
Because you gotta screen.
Yeah, you just do. What is it? The lust spirit, the Jezebel spirit. Like it's the money spirit. Like it's not the money spirit, but what's the word? Not gluttonous, but greed.
Yeah, greed.
Like it's
manipulation.
It's at an all-time high in these times.
Selfishness.
So you can't move. Like I wish we could, because I think that's the right way to move. But the climate we in, no. So you was not set up for success at this time.
Nah,
Okay.
If it would have been prearranged marriage
Family
by our
involved.
families, like her family and my family, then it would have been a better model.
Yeah.
Out of this birthed out of struggle and necessity. Like, you needed me to help you stabilize your life financially, so that you can focus on college, and so that your mom and dad can get out of their responsibility to help you. So I was basically like a satellite spirit that helped you stabilize your life, and in exchange, your parents was gotten the glory.
You see, you didn't see it that way at that time.
I'm reflecting now.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what I got later on.
Like you picking up on it now.
Yeah,
Yes.
like when you graduated from college, your parents got the accolades, but I was the one that helped you through college.
Right. Like basically, you out of the house at 18, and now you my responsibility.
Right.
What I wasn't even ready for.
Exactly.
So you're now living with this woman. Yeah. So what is it like with this woman as far as living together and
Man, beautiful.
Okay.
Oh man, she had the tender love. Like I said, my brothers and I, we have the barometer from our mother. Our mother is the moon energy.
Okay.
So our mother taught us how to identify tender love. So So at this time, my girlfriend, she had the barometer for tender love, right? Natural hair, didn't wear makeup, know how to cook, keep a clean house, read the Bible, go to church, right? Got a nice personality, and intelligent, so we could have conversations. So we was drinking wine and eating dinner and having conversations. We wasn't even watching TV a lot. You know, we had structure, like we was living like grown folks. Like she was a freshman in college, but the way we interacted, we was living like we was 30. We was really living like grown folks. Like we had a system, you know, like we both went to work, she went to school. When we came home at the same time, or she got home a little bit before me. When I walked in the house, I smelled something on the stove, right? We wasn't ordering food. No, she was cooking.
So
4 days a week.
So when do you think this thing started to kind of go left as far as this might not actually work? What started to happen?
The beginning, everything was solid.
Beautiful.
Things didn't start looking like it would be an issue until I started meeting her family side. See, we made the plan. We made the agreement. We said, listen, Thanksgiving, we go to Memphis. Christmas, we go to Michigan, right? That works out with her work schedule, my work schedule, because I transitioned into the school system, start teaching, right? So I was off, you know, during those Christmas breaks. So was she, right? So when I started meeting her mom's side of the family, her dad's side of the family, that's when I started seeing things go left, because I'm like, okay, now I'm seeing spirits in your family that are not right. And I'm looking for the people in your family that are like holding a post to check these spirits. Nobody was on these posts. They ain't had nobody on posts. See, when you come from a big family, you learn about spiritual posts in order to protect the family energetically and from spirits. Because you can leave holes and portals to allow spirits into your family to cause what we just said, those spirits, greed, lust,
Jezebel.
manipulation, Jezebel spirits, right? So you have to have people that are aware of that. I didn't see those posts covered in her family. So we're there for Christmas. Her cousin called me outside. And he says to me, he says, now you seem like a good brother, and I just want you to know that my cousin is stubborn, and you're going to have a hard time getting her to follow you. Now, he told me this. That was the going left moment for me. That was the crossroads.
Because you had never seen nobody even try to head off anything negative, or nobody was stepping up. So this one guy is, and this is what he's saying.
This is what he's saying. This is her cousin.
Okay.
Who's a preacher.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And a Mason. And a Q-Dog. So he is the one that told me to be careful what you choose at this point, because I see the quality of man you are, right? He was real about it. But in my mind, I'm thinking, man, whatever it is, we can work through it. That's the loyal man in me. That's the spiritual warrior in me. To say that whatever spirits come, I'm going to be able to handle them spirits and move them spirits out of our way so we can grow, right? But little did I knew that it was going to be like this. So we still got married 3 years after dating. We bought a house together, and she graduated from college. She went back, got her master's, right? I'm still in the school system. I'm coaching basketball. I'm starting motivational speaking career. We have our son, right? 3 months into us getting married, she got pregnant, right? So we had our son. We was moving hats really fast, right? We went from husband and wife to father and mother, right? While also balancing careers. But we did a pretty good job at that transitional period. Everything was still smooth at that time, right? So things didn't start getting rocky until my son turned 2. This
Okay.
was the second pivotal point,
Okay.
right? When my son turned 2, I came to my wife. I said, baby, we done switched hats fast. But now our son is 2. He's walking, he's potty trained, he can talk. Now we can start trusting some of our church members that live by us to babysit him
The village.
for a couple hours so we can start back dating again. We need to start back dating again and building up our romance again.
Because it was getting too monotonous at this point.
Yeah, we was just on the schedule of going to work, coming home, task, son,
Yeah.
nurturing, raising him.
No time for y'all.
No time for just us to do our romantic stuff that we like to do.
Yeah.
Because we like to drink wine and have conversation. You know what I'm saying? We like to laugh and talk and, you know, things like that. We used to write poetry, you know. We stopped doing that type of stuff together. So her response let me know that it was a spirit festering that was hidden from me. Because her response was, I ain't got time for that. I'm focused on my career and my son. I said, then our marriage is over.
My son.
That was the spirit.
Not y'all son.
My.
We hear that a lot.
Now, mind you, at this time, we not beefing.
Yeah.
We going through natural, you know, relationship, marriage. We still.
You navigating.
We still navigating, right? We still laying on the couch together. But when I say to you, we need to start working on our romance, this spirit come out. That let me know that it was something that was being hidden from me the whole time. It was something that was because you needed me. You see? That spirit needed me. Remember, when you have a spirit that seeks out good men to then have a child with that man and then take ownership of the seed of the man that come from a royal background of kingdom builders. See, I come from a background of kingdom builders. So when we talk about spiritual wickedness being manifested through government entities,
you knew you was in trouble.
Yeah.
At that moment, when she said that, you knew you were in trouble.
And I knew what her cousin prepared me for. This was the spirit that he prepared me for. So we warriors in my family. We spiritual warriors. So I began to get on the hunt to figure out where is this spirit coming from. Now, mind you, at that moment, we still married and we still got the same schedule. We go Thanksgiving, Memphis, Christmas, we go to Michigan. So every Christmas, I'm hunting her family to see where these spirits come from. I'm getting more data, right?
So what ended up being the breaking point between y'all?
The breaking point came when her mother decided to move from Michigan to Nashville, Tennessee, and to move in our home. Now, how it was presented to me was that her mom fell at work and got injured, and she didn't have nowhere to live. So this was another plot, just like her mom and her plotted to bring me into their family to help solve her problems. Remember this. They plotted. So then they plotted on the back end to usher in the divorce and then the kidnapping of my son to break up the kingdom builder. Remember, I'm descendants of kingdom builders.
So how did they
move?
Kidnapping. How did this happen? What
So after 7 years of marriage, 3 years of in a relationship, so going on 11 years together. We come home, we always have conversations in our bedroom. Her mom's living with us at the time. My son He's there. He's about. This is 2015, so he's 5 years old, right? And we having a discussion, and she tells me that she wants to get a separation, right? Now, prior to this, this comment of I want to get a separation, there wasn't nothing serious that we was going through that would make us have to get a divorce. It wasn't really nothing. That's how I know it was still spiritual stuff going on. Because we still kept our schedule. We still taught vacation Bible school every year at the church, right? We still was participating in the church.
Right,
we still was doing our responsibilities together, and everything was rolling smooth. So I knew it was a spiritual thing. So she told me she wanted to get a separation. I said, if we separate, we leaving room for other spirits to come in and separate us further. I don't think we should do that. But if you think we should do that, then we got to explain that to our son. So I called our son in the room. He came in. I told him, hey, son, me and your mom are going to get a separation. We're not going to be living in the same household anymore. He cried. As soon as he started crying, she walks out of the room, out of the bedroom, because we were upstairs in our bedroom. She walks out, right? I then hugged my son, and then I said, son, let's pray. Kneel down at the bed. He kneeled down with me. I held his hand, and we prayed. When I came out of the prayer with him, he began to dry up his tears, and the first thing he said was, well, Daddy, can we get a house down the street from this house so I can be close to both of you all? I said, yes, son, we're going to work on that, right? So I hear from downstairs her mom. She say, can little Nehemiah come downstairs and watch a movie? I made some popcorn. So I say, sure. I say, son, you want to watch a movie? He said, yeah, Dad. So I said, okay, I'm going to jump in the shower. So boom, I jump in the shower. I get out of the shower. Soon as my foot hit the floor, I hear my son say, where we going? So I throw on some clothes, run downstairs. I don't see my son or the mom. I open the front door. She pulling out of the driveway, done kidnapped my son. Done kidnapped my son. And then I'm calling her phone, my son's mother, she ain't answering the phone. 2 hours later, I get a call from the Nashville Police Department, and they say, is this Mr. Hardaway? I say, yes. They say, you got an order of protection that's been filed against you. There will be a unit there to come see you in the morning, and you're going to have to get your items that you can get, and you're going to have to leave in the morning when they come. I hang up. At that moment, bruh, the energy from that spirit had plotted on the kingdom builder bloodline since I was 23. Remember, I was 23. How I met her was a three-way call with her mom. We got to get this if we're going to really look at the culture of what's happening in the black community and other communities too, because they got similar problems spiritually. But we got to look at this, bro. Her mom was there at the beginning. She the one that asked me to take on the responsibility of her daughter. And I did that and built y'all all the way up. Made sure she got to Michigan 11 years straight every Christmas. Gave you your first grandchild. Made sure we had a house. Helped her get a career started. And then you come at the end to kidnap my son from me.
How long was the mom there before that happened?
How long was she living there?
Yeah, before that happened. Like how?
6 months.
So it was quick.
It was planned.
It was quick.
Yeah, it was quick. It was planned. When she moved there, within 6 months, the divorce happened. Within 4 months, the separation happened. So that means this was all calculated by that spirit that was moving in their family. I had already saw it when I went and visited both sides.
Right.
There was some issues there.
So after this kidnapping, because that's what that is. Some people probably think you're being dramatic. If there was the other way around, they wouldn't say that.
That's kidnapping. If you take my child without my permission, it's kidnapping.
That's still legally my child. That's still legally my child.
Yeah,
but
spiritually, that's my child. You out of order spiritually.
Yeah.
The mama was supposed to mediate between me and her daughter. She was supposed to be the mediator. Mm-hmm. She didn't do that. She came there to advocate strictly for her daughter's interests.
You can't do that spiritually, and you can't do that legally. Because
nah.
You're married.
Right.
Now, it's not finalized, but ain't nothing been set in stone yet, and then the way they sabotage it is to pull that move of they're either going to do you're touching the kid, they're either going to do you're a danger to the kid, or you're physically abusive to the mom. Like this is the known playbook in this game.
Yeah.
And you're not even understanding this at this point.
And we need to talk about the verbiage of the playbook.
Yeah.
So the word is erratic, right? If a woman goes to the police department and you could have not touched her, because I never put my hands on her. I gave y'all the full plate. We had a discussion about getting a separation. There was no threats. It wasn't violent or none of that. I just told you I prayed with my son. You know what I'm saying? I just said, hey, you can go downstairs and watch a movie with your grandmother, right? So it wasn't like a chaotic environment. It was us having a discussion. But it was the spirit that was moving, though. Mm-hmm. So you got to understand that. So they use words, this spirit, because it's not the women. See, we can't make it just about the women. It's a spirit that's moving in the women and the men to cause us to be at odds and not
out of line.
Not align with each other. Mm-hmm. So the word is erratic. He's acting erratic. That's what the affidavit said. He's acting erratic, right? And I feel threatened by his behavior. So what that spirit was saying is that I don't want to agree to equal terms, which was you keep my son half the time, I keep our son half the time, right? She didn't want to agree to that. So she chose to get an order of protection to steal my son, to get control of my son and control over the house. Right. And you render me homeless while I'm a teacher and I got classes I got to teach. I got students in the morning that's dependent on me to come to class to help them with the spiritual conditions of their families. So you ain't even thinking about that. Like your spirit as a woman who's been with a man that took you from 19. You got to process this, bro. You a man that took a woman who was about to get put out of her apartment at 19, and you grow her all the way up. And she knows your purpose. She knows that you teaching children and that you cultivate her. You cultivate your son. You cultivate your church family and the kids there, because I taught Sunday school at church. So you don't even think enough of me and God's purpose for me to say, I can't do this man like that.
You think that stuff would kick in, wouldn't you?
I can't do this man like that. Her mama didn't say, I can't let my daughter do this man like that. Her daughter didn't say that. My church family, when we got married at, the pastor, the deaconess, all these other folks that I put around my family that I thought was the right people to be around my family, none of them said, you can't do him like that. None of them said that. So that lets you know this was a collaboration of spirits to try to break down the kingdom builder bloodline. We got to understand this. And now we can move into understanding systematically how this is the question.
This the giant.
This the giant. Who licensed the spiritual system in family court to interfere with the family dynamic when having a separation, right?
Run that back one more time.
Who licensed family court to spiritually handle when marriages separate, when families begin to separate, the conditions on how these families separate, the terms that govern how these families spend time with each other. Who licensed the family court to do that, man?
Who gave them the authority?
Who gave them the authority? Did the Creator give them authority? So what gives them authority over our defined family structure? That's what we got to talk about. And why is it that black women, melanated women, it goes for all women, but why is it that you got so many melanated women who know the background that we come from of systemic racism that has been strategically breaking down our family structures over time, that spirit trying to stop the kingdom builders from building kingdoms. The first kingdom is your family. That's what my father taught me. That's what his father and grandfather and uncles taught him, right? So who is licensing these courts to have authority over the terms? That's the question that we have to look at. Because if me and my son were around each other every day for the first 5 years of his life, and then you file an order of protection, I don't see my son for 17 days, how you think that affected my son's spirit and his mind to not see his father for 17 days and he never went that long without seeing me? So that means that that spirit that was controlling her and her mom, they didn't even think about how my son not seeing or talking to me for 17 days until we went to court for the order of protection. They not even thinking how that is affecting his mind or his spirit. Because if you did, you would at least had the decency to say, even though, like, I didn't want to give you joint custody during the negotiations, I saw where you were going and I didn't want to give you that, but I at least won't stop you from talking to your son right now because I know that I ain't right. I know what I did, I ain't right.
But your son still needs you.
Yeah, so let me at least have him to call you.
I've been there, brother.
You ain't even do that. And your mama didn't even tell you, no, you got to let that baby call his son. You can't rip him away from his father. He never knew this was going to happen.
Out of alignment.
Yeah. And then y'all don't go to court for 17 days, so he ain't going to see him for 17 days. You ain't going to, like, and nobody from the church got on her. Nobody from her family got on her. And nobody from her family called me and said, man, I'm sorry this happened, brother. I know this ain't right. That's how you know it's a spirit.
I ain't get that call either.
You ain't get it neither. No. So this is typical because it is a pattern of a spirit. That's what we got to get. We got to see who's licensing this movement. What spirit is licensing this movement? That's what we got to get down to.
And then you can identify the people.
And then you can break the curse.
Yeah.
You can capture the spirit, break the curse. And now make everybody consciously aware of how their spirit is moving.
And that's what this video was about today.
Yeah.
It's a part of breaking that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just got to open people's eyes and they'll see it.
The heart of coach.
Man, that boy hit that line right on point. So, when was the last time you seen your son?
Man, I had seen my son since my son was 9 years old. 9. Now, right now, my son is 14. Right? So, you got to think about this. So, my son is accustomed to having me from birth to 5. Then the trauma started with the kidnapping of him, right? And then the next thing was, there was this whole time period where the courts gave me 85 days. Who licensed them?
Come on.
To give you 85 days with your flesh and blood? Who gave them authority to do that? And why is the authority that they have being used biasly against you as the father, and the seed came from your loins?
These are the questions.
These are the questions you gotta ask. The seed come from the loins of the father. The first words that the child says, no matter what culture you in, is dad. So that means on a soul level, whoever you pray to, whatever name, that energy though, is the same energy that's being manifested in the voice and the vibration of the child when it speaks his first words, dad. So why is that connection to the father being severed by a court system that is not connected to our family bloodline? You ain't even got the authority to make decisions on how our family move. The woman and the man got to go to their own court with their family members. But let me tell you how my situation went. So you went and they gave you 85 days. You was in juvenile court because y'all still married. I'm in divorce court. So the first thing we going over is she's got me in criminal court too. See, this was different from yours. So I'm navigating criminal court and then getting ready for divorce court at the same time. So that's two lawyers. That's a criminal court lawyer and a divorce court lawyer.
Draining you.
Right? So now, this is a spirit. Now, you've already separated the father from his house, from his child, and from his wife. This is what the spirit has done. Don't put it on the woman.
Don't get lost. Don't get lost.
It's a spirit.
Yeah.
So this spirit has separated the father from his wife, his child, and his domain, his house. And then wrapped him up in criminal court and divorce court at the same time.
Hold on. As soon as I start saying, you're gonna start saying it with me, because I don't think they really hear what you're saying. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities,
So,
against powers,
wickedness.
and darkness of this world.
Yeah.
This is like,
That's what it is.
This is what it is, and it's because it's deeper than a person.
Yeah, it's deeper than a person. Yeah. It ain't the flesh and blood, it's the spirit that's moving through them. But you got to track and say, how did the spirit get in them, though? And that's when you go to look at the family dynamic, like I described early on in the interview. This is the way we got to look at it. Because if
They probably missed that when you was, they probably didn't see the connection, but what this man is telling you, it started somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you really, a lawyer ain't gonna fix it. A lawyer might help the situation of the legal part of it, but that won't stop it from happening to the next family. That won't stop it from happening to your son.
And the lawyers, they are officers of the court.
Right, first.
So they not even really working for your best interests. Right. They working for the interests of the court. Because the court is actually doing commerce. That's leading into the side of how I handle my case. Like I fired my lawyer, right? My divorce lawyer, because she was a woman who was biased against me, and you my lawyer. How I'm gonna pay you to work for me, but you working against me?
Because she there to do just the job.
You see what I'm saying? And she had issues with her father. I always do research. So when I would meet with her, I asked her how was her relationship with her father, which was rocky. So I said, that's why you can't properly represent me, ma'am. Because the same bias that you have been instilled with your father, you're now showing me that bias in the way that you're representing me. Mind you, my son mama had filed another charge against me after the order of protection. Because I was getting closer and closer to getting joint custody of my son. That spirit was trying to prevent me from what? Having my child an equal amount of time. Why? Because the energy that I was imparting in my child was going to make him what? A kingdom builder.
And his spirit had to stop this from happening.
Exactly.
And it's powerful.
You got to understand that. The man makes the sons kingdom builders and train warriors.
That's your job.
You're
the only one can do it.
So there's a principalities that tracking you too. Just like we tracking spirits, spirits will track you and try to stop you from building kingdoms.
You went through this from 9 years old, 5 years old, to 14.
The story is dynamic because I was given the 85 days. I'm navigating criminal court. She filed order of protection with, then she filed domestic assault with intent to bodily harm. I lose my jobs at the school. I lose my job working with the state of Tennessee. And I go to trial after a year and a half and $7,000 and not guilty of all charges. So.
But you've had to go through that first before you can even deal with what you.
At the same, man, this spirit knew
where to hit you.
Who I was, though. See, the weight of the spirit will come based off of the type of family that you come from. Because only families that have strong spiritual coverings are given the largest spirits to break. Remember that. Some things that happen in your family are your responsibility to break a curse. This curse, this spirit that came against my family and my bloodline was not just about me. It was about me and my family breaking the curse of sorcery through family court so it can stop affecting all other families that came through there. Close that portal up.
I feel like trying to get people today to understand the full weight of spirituality is probably going to be a bit much for people to understand. So from a legal standpoint, if you have a young man that is, his relationship with his wife and child is about to end, what would you suggest he do in that situation?
You have to challenge the jurisdiction of the courts. And you have to challenge them by asserting your own contracts. With me, I understood that. I knew that once I got found not guilty of the criminal charges, that I had damages. So I typed up a bill of damages that my ex-wife owed me. My son's mother, now you owe me money. So then I filed that document in my case in divorce court. So now you ain't gonna never bring up no child support. This was let you know that child support is not actually child support. Right? Because once I entered into my case, the bill of damages stating that these charges were filed against me, these were not guilty verdicts, and this is how much money I'm charging you for damages. The judge or her lawyer never mentioned child support ever again. Ever again. Why is that? Why is that? Because we dealing with a commercial entity operating as a spiritual, divine mediator, but they're not spiritual or divine.
Who assigned them that role?
This role has been assigned to them by the British, if you want to really break it down. But more closely, it was assigned to them by the mother because she the one decided to take the family to the courts, right? Knowing that there are built-in biases towards the father. So that means you're not thinking about the child and you're not thinking about yourself or your child's father. Like, just like you, fam. You don't wish no harm on your child's mother. I don't wish no harm on my child's mother, and I'm still gonna protect my child's mother. The woman should always think of us in the same way as we think of them, bro. Regardless if we got separation or not. We still have a child together. We gotta operate as sisters and brothers now.
The love still has to be there.
The love still gotta be there.
Maybe not the romantic love, but the love.
It's a sister and brother love now.
Yes.
It's a sister and brother love now. So I would say to any young man that's out there, the first thing you gotta do, man, before you even get married, you have to learn the importance of contracts. You have to type up your contract for marriage. And you need to do a private marriage, not a public marriage. It's a difference in the two, so you're going to have to study that. But any woman that you talk to, you need to already have your terms to the marriage. In case of a separation, these are the terms to our parenting plan. We do shared custody. And these are all the other terms that I want to put in to this arrangement. And if you get a divorce, then you can submit this contract, both of y'all sign it, get it notarized, and then you present that to the judge to say, we've already settled this matter.
Right.
We're just coming here to make it official,
Yeah,
but
the
we've
stamp,
already done.
we need the state stamp and we done with
That's it, yeah.
Right.
But not allow the biases that are built into family court system to dictate to your tribe how they're spiritually going to move after this separation takes place.
I want to crystallize what you just, that was so good.
Yeah.
Young men, if you're listening now, what he just told you to do was, and it's not as going to be hard as you think it is going to be, because you should be on good terms if you're about to marry a woman.
Right.
So she should understand, look, should we have kids? If we split, we do 50-50 custody. If that woman has a problem with that,
Right.
you're gonna snuff it out early, because before you marry her and you say, well, what's the problem with us having joint custody? And he's not lying. I've been told the same thing by lawyers, but I never looked at it from that standpoint of you actually cutting the problem off from the beginning when things are actually going good.
Exactly.
That's a bar.
Yeah. We gotta do that. We gotta make that a part of culture. Yeah. It's gotta be a culture where every man do this. Every man do this. That's how we got into the women doing what they do. Because some spirit came through a woman, she started using the family court system to her advantage to tear down the kingdom builders, right? And then it became a playbook for all women to use. As men, we gotta have a counter playbook to that spirit that has embodied and arrested our woman's spiritual guide. We gotta enter in contracts.
We got to start with protection before we even get on the field.
Before we even get married, before we even jump the broom,
I agree.
we gotta have these contracts already written out and have both of us to sign it, take it before a notary, get it notarized, and then it's an official document. And you take that and you put it in the safe.
Brothers, and well, sisters too, because this would be a good way for you to head off that spirit that could try to become a negative force in your life. If y'all can be on the same accord before you get married and these are things you can agree on,
right?
This might stop you from getting divorced because you done got everything already understood from the beginning. So this was great information, man. Before we wrap, man, like it's just heavy, man.
Yeah, it's a heavy topic, bro.
Yeah, and I try to be just the interviewer sometimes, but sometimes I just can't do that. Like sometimes I just gotta speak to what you're saying because I know it to be true. This ain't just people talking BS, man. Like this is real life that we've gone through as men and fathers, and we're trying to make a difference in the culture. This is why this is called the heart of culture. Any last words you want to leave with the people before we wrap up, bro?
I want to say for all of y'all that will watch this is that understand that family is sacred. And also understand that energy is real. Energy translates into spirits. You got to get this part. So when you have difficulty in your relationship or in your family, don't personalize it to the person, because it's energy and spirits that cause disharmony, because naturally we have the inclination to want to fix ourselves, correct ourselves, move in harmony with each other. Naturally, we do this, right? When we're not able to do this, that means something spiritually is blocking us from having a natural inclination to solve our own problems. So let us approach creating family and protecting family with a greater sense of awareness. And that will minimize a lot of our problems. And even if we choose that we're not supposed to be together in a relationship, we can still be together as family members who have children, as mother and father, right? And we can still solve any problem that comes up, and we can still work as a team to raise our child, whether we together or we not together. We owe that to our family and our future generations to come.
We owe that to the culture.
We owe that to the culture.
And this is Heart of Culture.
Heart of Culture.
Nehemiah Hardaway.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Salute to the kings, peace to the queen.